What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are back by popular demand with another meat and bone video. I did one of these about a year ago with shotguns, and I've been getting harassed ever since to do another one. So today we have two of my very favorite guns, the AK-47 and the AK-74. But first, I want to address some comments that I got on the last meat and bone video that I did. And as you can imagine, there were quite a few people who were pretty upset with me for wasting meat like that. First, I just want to say I'm a huge animal lover, number one, and I realized that a lot of you thought that I was being really wasteful, and I agree. But like me, there's a lot of you guys who do want to see these tests and see these comparison videos. So today, we're gonna do it again. So the AK-47 is obviously the more powerful of the two and shoots the bigger bullet, but the AK-74 is an interesting one because although it does shoot a smaller caliber, the bullet was designed in a way that it tumbles on impact and just creates some gnarly wound cavities. So much so that it earned the nickname Poison Bullet when it was first used in combat. Now that mostly applies to the Russian military ammo that we can't even get anymore because of the Russian import ban, but I have found what I believe to be the closest thing we can get. And I've done a ton of ballistic shell tests with this round, and it tumbles like crazy and leaves enormous wound cavities. I've actually never been able to keep it in a ballistic shell block. So I'm gonna put you guys up on the tripod here. So these are the two calibers. The 7.62x39 is on the left and the 5.45x39 is on the right. And obviously the 7.62 is a much bigger bullet, but you can see how long and just slender that 5.45 is, and I assume that that's part of what makes it tumble so violently in tissue and ballistic shell. So today we've changed up the meat. If you watched the shotgun video, you know that we just used pork ribs, and today I've actually got a couple bone-in pork roasts, and you can see just how much thicker those are than the ribs, and like I said, they do have a bone in them. And then we also have another pack of ribs that I'm gonna set in front of our pork roast, and hopefully we'll be able to hit bone and meat on every shot. Probably not, but I'm gonna try my best, and we're gonna see how these two calibers compare in a meat and bone test. All right, we got the meat on the table down there, and I have the two roasts side by side and the layer of ribs running across the front of it. And I'm just gonna start at the left and work our way right and see how many bullets we can get in this stuff before we basically ruin it. So we're gonna start with the AK-47, and first, we're shooting the 123 grain Red Army Standard full metal jacket. So I'm obviously really close, and I'm kind of worried about the holdover at this close range. It's a much smaller target than I thought it would be. So let's see if we can hit it. Blew the top of it off, I think. All right, so I got my latex glove on, and obviously this camera is just way too expensive for me to be handling this raw meat and then touching my expensive camera. So I'm gonna try to film this the best that I can, but here is the entrance hole on the front of our ribs. Pretty standard, nothing too crazy on the ribs. And then you can see, as I suspected, it went a little bit high, but it definitely hit our pork roast. And you can see, hopefully, that it just blew the entire top half off of that pork roast. So here's a view from the back. Obviously just insane amount of damage and super impressive from the full metal jacket out of the AK-47. All right, now we're gonna try the AK-74, and I was gonna go from left to right with all these bullets, but after seeing that exit hole from the AK-47, I think I'm gonna start with the 74 on the right and then just meet in the middle as we go. So for the AK-74, we're starting with the 60 grain Wolf full metal jacket, and this is the one that I told you guys tumbles like crazy in ballistics jet. Let's see how it does. Wow. Wow. Well, I was aiming towards the right side of the ribs, but it looks like it actually went in more towards the middle of the pork roast. So here is the exit hole on the back side of our ribs. I went ahead and flipped it over. The entrance hole is about the exact same. And then on the pork roast, you can see that enormous entrance hole on the front of that thing there. It was obviously tumbling by the time that it hit our pork roast. And then also on the back, just a massive exit hole, and it looks like it kind of mangled that meat when it was going through too. So pretty impressive for the 545 full metal jacket. All right, we're back to the AK-47. I was gonna save this one for last, but after seeing how much damage this is doing, I wanna make sure that we get this one in the test. So this is the 123 grain Hornady black SST 7.62 by 39, and I actually just did a ballistic shell test with this one out of the little Galil pistol. I'm not sure if that video will come out before this one, but I'll just say that it really impressed me. So let's see how it does in this meat. I'm gonna try to get this one a little bit lower. Oh my gosh, that almost hit me. Wow. Wow. I just found a piece of meat in the hairs on my microphone wind cover. That is disgusting. All right, here is what's left after shooting the 123 grain Hornady black. This round just obliterated all of our meat. So this right here is the entrance hole on our ribs. You can see just how gigantic that is. And then there's the hole that it left in that pork roast. So it almost did so much damage that there's nothing really there to show. It just split everything in half, launched the pork roast this way, the ribs back that way. They almost hit me. That was a pretty big leap from the first two that we shot. All right, now we're gonna shoot the 545 by 39 60 grain Hornady Vmax, and you can see it's a very similar looking bullet to the 7.62 by 39. This is actually advertised as like a varmint round. I've done some tests with it and it gets a lot of penetration. It actually performs very similar to the Hornady black in ballistic shell. So let's see what it does to our meat. If that was a varmint, I don't think there would be too much left of it. So there's the entrance hole on our ribs from the 545 Hornady Vmax, and you can see it's obviously a little smaller than the 7.62 Hornady black, but it did about the exact same thing, just on a little smaller scale, obviously. So pretty impressive through the ribs, and then there is what it did to our pork roast. You can see it just completely blew the entire side off of that pork, and I don't know if there's like a piece that left or if it's all there and it just kind of, you know, blasted it open, but it basically turned that pork into hamburger meat, kind of sent everything flying as well. So for a varmint round, I gotta say that 545 Hornady Vmax definitely did a little bit more damage than I thought it would. So these are doing so much damage that we're kind of running out of room, but I'm gonna try to squeeze one more bullet out of each gun into our meat and bone down there. So next up, we have the 7.62 by 39 124 grain Toula soft point, and you can see the soft point on the end of that bullet there. So I haven't done a whole lot of testing with these, but I've had these laying around for quite a while. Let's see how much damage it does. Now again, we've already done quite a bit of damage down there, so I have a little section that I'm gonna try to aim for on this one. It is raining raw meat on me right now. Wow. So now I'm starting to remember why I waited a year to do another one of these videos. It is an absolute mess. We got pieces of meat being flung all over my cameras. I got meat and bones all over my GoPro and that tripod, so definitely not very fun to clean. But here is the entrance hole on the front of our pork ribs. Actually a pretty impressive entrance hole from the 7.62 soft point. Obviously not as big as the Hornady that just took out a giant chunk, but definitely a big entrance and exit hole on the ribs. And then as far as the roast goes, again, just completely blew this whole side off of it. It looks like this bullet actually did hit the bone that was in the ribs as well, and almost detached that piece from the other piece. So a lot of damage. It's kind of getting hard to see the actual holes because they're just blowing them apart. But definitely really impressive, as all these bullets have been. So let's try one more 5.45 and see how it does. All right, the final round we're gonna shoot is the 55 grain 5.45 Wolf hollow point. And you can see the hollow point in that bullet, and it's actually a much shorter bullet than the full metal jacket. So let's see what it does. Again, big chunks of meat raining from the sky. So here's where it went in, on the front of our ribs, and then there is the exit hole. So nothing too impressive on the ribs, but here is what it did to our pork roast. And you can see the last one that we did from the 5.45 took a big chunk off. But I gotta say, I think this might be the most damage that we got from the 5.45 all day. That just absolutely obliterated that whole side of that pork roast. So I was gonna set these up and kind of shoot them a bunch to cap off the video and do a little grand finale, but they're so tore up already, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and throw them out here in the woods for the animals to get, and they'll get more use out of it than I would doing a couple mag dumps to end the video. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. I have a lot of work to do and a lot of camera gear to clean. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I didn't really offend anybody too much. I know that this is pretty wasteful, but like I said, I like to see this kind of stuff, and I know a lot of you guys do as well. And sometimes these tests are important to take a break from ballistics gel and see what these bullets actually do in meat and bone. Now I gotta say, I don't think we got quite as much valuable information from this one as we did last time, because both of these guns are so powerful that they just obliterated all the meat that I laid out on pretty much the first shot. And the pork roasts were good, but they definitely took a lot more damage than just the ribs did last time. So either way, pretty cool. I had a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. The AK-47 and the AK-74 are two of my favorite guns. You guys know that, and I love shooting them. So if you guys did like this video, please let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to help support the channel, as always, you can visit my Patreon link. I will post that in the description box below as well. But again, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.